British Columbians appear divided on UNDRIP, the legislation BC passed in 2019 to align with UNDRIP, the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples.
British Columbians are pretty attuned to that, and they're quite divided.
The legislation recognizes Indigenous rights and title and involves First Nations in decisions about public land and development. An Angus Reid poll shows 39% of those surveyed think it's necessary. Even more think the laws go too far in limiting provincial authority over land and resources.
Reconciliation of the rights of these groups that were here versus the challenges of land and development.
This Indigenous leader says he's not surprised by the poll.
BC has always carried a history of somewhat adverse relations towards the First Nations people.
Tension over Indigenous land title and rights was sparked after the poll was conducted with the recent decision in Cowichan Tribes, the court granting Aboriginal title over land owned by the City of Richmond and the Crown that includes private property, a decision that triggered a quick appeal by the province. The Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation Minister responded to the poll.
I have to be sure that I'm being transparent with British Columbians. I'm upfront about what we're trying to do, which is about unlocking huge economic potential with First Nations people.
BC is the only province in Canada to pass UNDRIP legislation. The poll shows a majority want to see a referendum on that. 57% of NDP supporters in favor, and nearly 70% of BC Conservatives want a referendum.
If you look at the numbers, it suggests that it would be an interesting vote.
The province says there will be no referendum, but it has plenty of work ahead to provide clarity for Indigenous peoples and those concerned about the path to reconciliation.
Rob Buffum joins us live now from Victoria. Rob, what else did the poll say about how NDP and Conservative voters feel about UNDRIP?
Well, Mijung, it does certainly break down along party lines. For example, 54%, a majority of NDP voters do support it and think it's necessary, while on the other hand, 76% of BC Conservative voters who are surveyed oppose it. That said, it's not a slam dunk for the NDP because while they have a modest majority on this issue, there is 29% of their voters who had opposed it. So their messaging is a little bit more tricky on this issue compared to the Conservatives who have openly said they would repeal UNDRIP.